Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And for a few minutes, I want to talk a little bit about cornerback Eli Apple. Now, for the last couple weeks, Eli Apple has been struggling in the passing game. It just seems like teams have really been picking on Eli Apple, and the way that he's been playing has been very concerning to the Who Dat Nation. And now we all know that the New Orleans Saints have claimed former New York Giant Janoris Jenkins off waivers, which means that he is going to report to the Saints as of today. If you're looking at this video, I'm doing it on a Tuesday. So what does that mean for Eli Apple? First off, I want to just say this. I think Eli Apple at the beginning of the season was doing an incredible job. For the exception of that week one deep pass to Will Fuller in that game against the Houston Texans, he basically been playing pretty good. He was out there balling. I think a lot of people were talking about even owing this man an apology for talking about he was trash. For the last couple weeks and honestly last night, I kind of stayed up a little bit later because I did a live stream. And then after the live stream, I really couldn't sleep. So what I did was I ended up going to look at some footage throughout different games and highlights of the weeks past of the New Orleans Saints. And I was just paying attention to how Eli Apple was actually playing coverage. I think that if I can pinpoint his regression, it had to be after that Chicago Bears game. If you notice that game, that was the game where Eli Apple actually went down with an injury that he sustained, in that game towards the tail end. And a lot of people thought that it was going to be possibly season ending because nobody touched him, but he ended up playing. I think that was the game right there that kind of, slowly showed that he was declining. So I don't know if he's like completely 100%. I mean, I guess nobody is at this time. And no, I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly happened. But that's the only thing that I can actually pinpoint just watching him play. In the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the second time around when they played in Raymond James, he played a lot more confident in that game. It just seems to me that Eli Apple throughout his entire career has been battling with self-esteem issues, man. I mean, this dates back to the New York Giants. I mean, I didn't know everything that went down with the New York Giants, so once again, I was doing research again, and it turns out that he was having issues with former teammate Landon Collins, and Landon Collins referred to him as a cancer. And it had a lot to do with his mom, Annie Apple, being involved in his life. A lot of people were considering her the female version of LeVar Ball. But he comes to New Orleans Saints, his old college teammates rally around him, and it just seems like he had a newfound life or something like that in the National Football League. The problem with Eli Apple, I think he struggles with confidence. I think when everybody's singing his praises, he's okay. But when he's not getting a pat on the back, it's hard for him to try to find that motivation that he needs in order to take the extra step. Last night, it wasn't very alarming because, like I said, it was the fact that the Saints were blowing out the Indianapolis Colts. But you can tell like he was in his own head. He wasn't really playing confident at all in that game. And I just think that it has a lot to do with him probably being so young and probably paying attention to what people are saying online. So what I feel like they need to do, I think they need to remove him from the outside once Janoris Jenkins get there. Not to say that he will never play on the outside again, but I just think they need to remove him from the outside, just kind of calm him down. Secondary coach Aaron Glenn needs to talk to him and let him know, man, everything's going to be okay. And possibly put him on the inside where he can actually win those matchups. I mean, he's a big guy. I think he's maybe like 6'1", about 210, 211 pounds. So he'll be able to kind of bully the smaller receiver in the slot. And I think he'll be able to do a better job and allow Janoris Jenkins to be on the outside with Marshawn Lattimore. I don't want to say that we just need to throw him away because, even though a lot of people are upset with Eli Apple right now, the guy still played all season. And the Saints were clicking on all cylinders. During that time when Teddy Bridgewater was taking over, he was playing cornerback and playing it at a higher level than he probably ever have in his entire career. Looking at his technique, he has really good technique. The problem is he just doesn't turn his head around. Like I said, I mean, I'm really tired right now because, like I said, I mean, I really honestly was doing some research. I stayed up probably an extra 2 hours just looking at Saints footage and just trying to figure out what's going on with Eli Apple and what really went down with him as far as like him coming to New Orleans. And I have to say, looking at that Chicago Bears game, I think he probably injured himself, and maybe that had something to do with it. And if you combine that with the fact that he always struggled with self-esteem and confidence, I think you can kind of add that onto it as well. But I would love to hear from you. What do you think about Eli Apple? Do you think that the Who Dat Nation are being too hard on him? Or do you feel like he can't turn it around? Or do you feel like, he's a waste of time? Comment down below, like and share this video. This has been the State of the Saints podcast. Once again, my name is TJ Jones. Subscribe to the channel and also subscribe to the Facebook page, facebook.com, search State of the Saints podcast. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?